One of the endorsers, the fans of Mairlyn Smith's new cookbook, Catherine Greenwood, says this particular book makes her laugh, salivate, and yearn to be everything good and healthy. Mairlyn Smith is a home economist with a comedic background. Her passions are humor, health, and food. Her new cookbook is Healthy Starts Here. It is my pleasure to welcome Mairlyn Smith to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Yay!
I should say back to Studio 4, and many people don't know about your comedic roots, but girl,
yeah,
you were on Saturday Night, not Saturday Night Live, Second City.
Yes, I was. One of my claims to fame was I've seen Mike Myers in his underpants.
You have?
At backstage.
I see.
Disclaimer.
Yes, for sure. Is he as funny off the stage as he is on the stage?
I think he's actually funnier backstage, because you can say whatever you want.
True, and I bet you did.
Oh, we did. Oh, we did. Yeah, it was a very fun time.
I'm
hugely fun time of my life.
Do you come from a humorous family?
Well, a little crazy and a little funny too, so it's a good combo.
Right.
Yeah, my father's hilariously witty and not joke telling, but you had to be always think on your feet. Because when I auditioned for Second City, I didn't even know who they were. I didn't even know what improvising was. But when I did the audition, it was like, oh, this is like living at my house. So yeah, totally. Think on your feet. Dance fast.
Right, and say something witty.
Yes.
Some of that humor is still in your work.
I hope
because
so.
There's a lot of play on word in here. It's not quite Looney Spoons.
No.
But
No. And I like ranting. I like to. I'm very opinionated about healthy eating and life in general. And I really, when I talked to Robert at Whitecap, I wanted to write a book that was really more of a reflection of me and the way that I eat, but the way that I live as well. So he let me write things about menopause and grocery shopping and all the things that make me crabby.
Well, Robert would be all over selling a book. For sure.
Yeah.
Robert from Whitecap.
Oh,
but
yes.
if you have a good idea, he's there.
I know, I love him.
And I love him too, but there's lots of little bits and buds in here, not just stories about food. For instance, you say, don't fry in anything in hot oil, or something like that.
Well, here's the deal. Whenever you superheat a fat, as soon as you have a smoke coming off it, it's called you've hit the smoke point. And when you hit the smoke point, you break down that fatty acid chain. So if the oil was good, for instance, if you're using extra virgin olive oil or canola oil, the extra virgin olive oil has a lower smoke point. So if you cooked it on a high heat and you get smoke, you might as well cooked it in lard because you're not getting any of the health benefits.
Okay.
So it's really important to kind of cook around medium heat.
Medium heat. And you can brown on medium heat.
You can brown, but we don't want to blacken. You never want to blacken a protein. And this is really important because you're going to actually form carcinogens. So never blacken protein. When you're flipping those burgers, and all those chefs have got all those nice black marks, don't do that. You want to flip it often and just get a browning happening.
Okay, dark brown.
Dark brown.
Period.
Period.
Now, in your kitchen, in the tool part of your kitchen,
yes.
What do you have? Your favorite gadgets and
I have kitchen
machines?
Toys. Yes.
I bet you do.
I do.
Rice cookers or
yes.
mandolins? What?
Yes. And I love my food processor. I love my handheld immersion blender. I have a huge, kind of a big blender machine that costs about $400. That is a really good, fun toy to have. But they're the things that make my life a little bit easier in the kitchen. I wouldn't do without them. I'd actually maybe get rid of one of my ex-husbands for one of those babies.
You would.
Yeah, rice cooker, ex-husband,
How many
out
exes
the door.
are there? Do you have a current?
I have 2 exes and 1 current, but the one current's been with me we've been together for 18 years. So
oh, that's good.
Yeah,
so
I think
you've
learned. Yeah,
you've had some adventure along with your antioxidants.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
But you're creative in the kitchen because you put things like blueberries and tomatoes together in a salad.
Yeah. Well,
Why?
I like that whole combination of sweet, tart, sour, bitter, and so the blueberries and the tomatoes have kind of a little offsetting sweet, and then the vinegar's got that kind of tart thing going, and
it's so beautiful.
It is pretty, isn't it? Beautiful?
And is that feta?
That's a little bit of feta.
A little bit of feta?
I don't use salt in my food, but I use salty foods. And so fetas, all the cheese have a lot of salt. So that little bit of saltiness from the feta is a yum thing. And you got that balsamic vinegar, and it's a lovely salad.
Sure,
very
but
summery.
You do cook with salt, just not too much.
I don't put any salt in any of my food. There's only 3 recipes that actually have salt, and they're a function because there's so many ingredients that are salty. So I would rather use capers and olives and feta cheese to get my salt. So because you need that for a flavor, but I don't like adding.
Okay, what about a little salt over the meat when you're done?
No.
No? I bet you don't put ketchup on eggs either.
I do so. I love ketchup.
You do?
I love ketchup.
You don't put ketchup on filet.
No.
No.
No, I think that's grounds for culinary hell, actually.
Perhaps. Now, it's spot prawn time in beautiful British Columbia. Perhaps you knew. If not, it is. You'll find out at Barbara Joe's tonight. You're going to be there tonight?
I am there tonight.
Okay, but you have a grilled garlic shrimp in this book.
I do.
Yum.
Yeah, it is yum. I think garlic's a wonderful, wonderful ingredient. It's so heart healthy. Isn't that pretty? You know, we shot all the pictures in my backyard. Isn't that neat? And it's a real.
And your backyard's in Toronto?
My backyard's in Toronto. I'm from here. I tell everybody, you know, in Toronto that I'm from Vancouver because I'm a Vancouverite through and through. But every single picture was shot in my backyard. Natural light in the hottest 4 days in August by a lovely man from Burlington, Ontario, Mike McCall. And I had a group of friends that helped style all the pictures. And it's a real, like I said, it's a labor of love. But they're really beautiful, aren't they, the pictures? Yeah.
Now, I've just turned to the crispy kale. Which is right on this set. It looks delicious.
And you know, it's interesting, in Ontario, nobody knew what crispy kale was. And everybody here in Vancouver is like, oh, that's a bowl of crispy kale. So good for you for being on board on the health train.
I got that in the green room.
Yeah, there you go. There it is, crispy
Didn't
kale.
I say that?
You
Must
did.
be
You walked
crispy
by and she
kale?
said, crispy kale. I was like,
of course, no one helped me. No.
Yes. Ding dong, light bulb moment.
But you can do like crispy spinach too, I'm sure. Can you or can't you?
You know what? I've never had any luck with that. There's too much water in spinach.
Okay.
So because you're going to roast this in the oven with some oil and you dry it out until it's crunchy, and then I sprinkle with Parmesan cheese, which is another salty ingredient, as opposed to putting salt on.
Right.
There you go.
But people who hate kale can't imagine. We know it's really good for us. So tell me what you do again.
Okay, so you chop it up in little pieces and you massage oil into it. Either canola or extra virgin olive oil, either one. You cook it in a low oven until it crunches up, and then when it comes out, you sprinkle Parmesan cheese on it. Now, it's not like a potato chip, but it certainly has a crunch thing going on. And if you've ever been like afraid of kale, it doesn't taste. It doesn't actually have a strong flavor. It's really quite mild. I like it.
I love kale and garlic.
Yes.
Like sauteed in the pan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yumba.
Yumba.
And what we know is it's good for us.
It is.
So yumba, yumba, yumba.
Yumba, yumba, yumba.
Now, hockey. Did you watch the hockey? I bet you didn't. You were probably on an airplane or something.
No. I was giving
the Canucks
class.
Clean up the Predators last night?
I know, but I think I may be responsible because I was on Urban Rush yesterday and I had my Canucks jersey on.
Oh,
And,
then maybe it was you.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
That giraffe they have in goal for the Predators, I'm telling you. It's pretty dull hockey, but that said, the Canucks won.
They certainly did. And this is a Hockey Night in Canada burger. My family, my dad has been making hamburgers since I can remember on Hockey Night in Canada Saturdays. And so even if you had a boyfriend or a date or whatever, you had to have a hamburger and watch Hockey Night in Canada.
Sure.
It was a tradition. So this is
even
to honor
if you
my
don't
father.
have a boyfriend.
Even if you didn't, well, you know, you wanted to go out and have a date. No,
Exactly.
he came with you. Except one date I had was a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and my mother would not let him in the house. So he didn't get a burger.
Oh,
didn't get
you're
the game.
serious hockey.
We are serious hockey people.
You're serious hockey people. Yes.
And this is actually has a reduced saturated fat count because I use extra lean ground beef, and then I add ground turkey in it as well. So
Really?
I'm cutting the fat down without getting rid of the flavor of beef. So
And
that's one
it
of the
holds
tricks.
together better because some turkey burgers fall apart.
I know.
Or do you have a trick?
No, well, they're a little dry. So that's where the fat from the beef is going to actually hold it together too. And then there's garlic and rosemary because that's going to give some fabulous flavor. And there's chili. It's a lovely, lovely burger. I tested that on my family last year during a Hockey Night in Canada night, and everybody loved it. So
I bet they did.
Beat
So
my dad's burger.
It beat the dad's burger?
It did beat my father's burger.
Well,
Thumbs up. That's a big
Thumbs
deal.
up for you, girl. And you've got like onion. I can't tell.
Caramelized onion.
I'm dying to dive into that burger, but I won't.
It's cold. Don't eat it.
It's very pretty. Well, we've got a microwave.
Wrap your lips around this baby. Holy moly.
Why
I know.
not? Why not? And anything else in it?
No, it's just
Because
caramelized
people
onion.
have a game on Saturday here,
I know.
you know.
Caramelized onions and the recipes in the book as well. And then we just put some red onion and tomato lettuce. And you could put as much guck as you want. You know, guck is good.
Guck is good.
Guck is
and
good.
if you have somebody who doesn't like guck and doesn't eat meat, you can make an Asian barley salad, perhaps.
You could do that too.
You could.
An Asian barley salad with barley as a whole grain. What I did in the book was there's 17 chapters of the foods that give you the biggest bang for your nutritional buck. And then I wrote a chapter on how to buy it, how to store it, and fabulous recipes. And then within those recipes, I gave you the nutrition breakdown so that you know what you're eating. Plus, if you're on Weight Watchers, you could figure out your points. And as a little extra thing, I hired a clinical dietitian to give me the diabetes food value exchanges for each recipe. And so if if you have anyone in your family that's living with diabetes, they can have a regular cookbook for the family that also has the diabetes information in it.
And you can read what Colin Mockery has to say
I love him.
about food and passion and all of that on the back. You're obviously friends. He calls
We are.
these recipes lip smacking. What more do you want? Okay, so
Okay.
crispy kale and that. Oh, and the chocolate mousse. You have, I think you say you'll never guess the secret ingredient in this chocolate mousse. Are you going to tell me?
No.
Does it start with a T and end with a U?
Yes, it does.
I thought so, because the minute anybody says
Secret tofu. People go,
everybody goes, ew.
it's the T word, don't say tofu. Yeah, I think people have a fear of tofu, but it's silken tofu, and there's so much chocolate in it. I'm just using it instead of whipping cream. And so I just say, don't tell anybody, serve it. They'll never know.
Right.
It tastes rich and creamy, and you would never know that there was tofu
And
in
do
it.
you use a soft tofu or
Silken. Silken soft.
silken soft tofu
Yes.
and real chocolate, like
And
the
really good chocolate.
good French, good dark.
Don't be fooling around with your chocolate. No, that's also a culinary sin. So dark, lovely, wonderful,
Right,
decadent
and
chocolate.
you say good for us.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. It
well,
is totally.
not just you.
No.
Most.
Although I'm pretty smart. No.
Yes, you are, and you're very funny.
Oh, good. No, dark chocolate, there's flavanols in dark chocolate, and flavanols actually reduce your blood pressure, so they're heart healthy. I mean, in moderation. You can't go and eat an entire
Right.
bag of dark chocolate and go, well, Mairlyn said it was good. No,
Exactly.
about an ounce a day is all you get.
I have a friend who flies a lot, and he takes a square of dark chocolate on the plane and swears it helps his immune system.
Well, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far, but I'm certainly saying that it's going to. It's a very, very heart healthy food, and so you know, if it's going to reduce your blood pressure and you're flying and you're getting nervous, maybe that's going to.
Maybe that's
Maybe
it.
that's what it is. It
Or
just makes him
or
happy.
good scotch.
Oh, I'm in.
Quinoa tabbouleh.
Quinoa tabbouleh.
Quinoa tabbouleh sounds like a foreign country, but it's not. So quinoa, really good grain.
An excellent grain. 20 minutes to cook. A good source of protein. It's not high in protein, but it's a more protein-rich whole grain.
Quinoa spelled.
Yes, yes, and you pronounce it quinoa, so very good.
Quinoa.
Yeah, quinoa. I did a YouTube video, and we had a little funny thing on. My husband played one of the characters in it, and he's going quinoa, and it's like, no, it's quinoa.
No,
Yeah, 'cause people
Kenora.
know- Kenora.
That's in Ontario.
It is.
How great, how much fun. And you can say rutabaga.
You can say rutabaga, but a lot of people think a turnip's a rutabaga, and that would be wrong too.
Well, that's what I said. One of my crew today said, "What's a rutabaga?"
What?
I said, "It's a turnip."
No,
and
it's
you say
not.
it's not.
It's not. Turnips are little, and rutabagas are the big ones.
Okay.
But we call them the wrong thing. My dad called this a turnip, and my dad was wrong. Okay, so I'll have to yell at him
Apparently.
tonight too. Anyway, so this is a rutabaga, and the little ones are the turnips.
I didn't know.
There you go.
See, you learn something every day.
Every
When
day.
the great James Barber was alive, he used to shred rutabaga and add a little soy and that for hors d'oeuvres.
As a salad raw?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. That would be yummy.
It was really yummy.
It would be really yummy.
Little miso, little whatever you want to add.
Fool around. You know what? I love my book. I love that you wanted to talk to me about this, and so thank you for sharing.
Well, thank
to
you.
me.
You'll come back. I know.
hope so. Good.
You know, like a good food. And I can't wait to get into the burger.
All right. Well,
Thank
make it
you.
for you.
A new cookbook, Mairlyn Smith. Healthy starts here. 140 recipes that will make you feel great. She'll be at Barbara Joe's tonight at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
It's not hockey night, so that's a good thing.
Okay, good.